Hello everyone, greetings from Health Angel Solutions again. I'm going to reveal something today that most of my patients find shocking. I advise them to begin consuming bitter foods. Once more, only bitter items, not sugar-free foods, keto smoothies, or expensive supplements. Items such as bitter melon, artichokes, dandelion greens, and arugula. Why would I say that then? Because meals that are bitter do more than only aid in digestion. In fact, they activate the GLP-1 pathway, which is the same pathway that Ozempic or Mount Kilimanjaro do. Yes, the same thing that thousands of dollars are being paid by people every month. Therefore, we will discuss the reasons why bitter foods have vanished from the modern diet in today's video, and how they increase GLP-1 and enhance insulin sensitivity in a true story from one of my patients who tried bitter melon tea, as well as the functional medicine perspective on the connections between gut, brain, and liver detoxification, how to safely and practically introduce these foods, and whether this is a workaround that could take the place of or supplement drugs like Ozempic. By the end of this video, you will understand why reintroducing bitterness into your diet may be one of the simplest and least expensive diabetes tricks that no one has discussed. These days, bitter foods are nearly never found in diets that are sweet, salty, and greasy. In the past, bitter foods were consumed by all cultures. Bitter foods are seldom ever served these days, despite the availability of wild greens, herbs, teas, and fermented plants. Why is that important? Because bitter substances activate receptors in your gut as well as on your tongue. The hormones that control hunger, digestion, and blood sugar, such as GLP-1, EYY, and CCK, are signaled by these receptors. Let's now discuss science. Your gut releases GLP-1 when you consume bitter foods. Ozempic, Mount Kilimanjaro, and others all use the same incretin hormone. These GLP drugs slow down, decrease appetite, and improve the effectiveness of insulin by mimicking GLP-1. To put it another way, bitter foods are like the little Ozempic of nature. They drive your physiology in the same way as the drug, but obviously they don't operate as effectively. For instance, studies on bitter melon have shown that it can increase insulin sensitivity and lower fasting blood sugar. Additionally, similar bitter chemicals found in arugula, artichokes, and lion greens stimulate the same gut receptors. And this is a true story. A patient of mine was experiencing persistent surges after meals. You see how it rises on the CGM and think, oh, I can't catch it. That occurs even when you eat healthy carbohydrates, don't you think? However, she accompanied her meal with a cup of bitter melon tea. As a result, her post-meal increases often decreased by 20 to 30 points. Her meds remained unchanged. She didn't stop eating carbohydrates. She just added one dish that was bitter. I became aware that this was a missing piece at that point. Not a magic remedy. It was not a forgotten tool. I became aware that there was a gap in the information when I heard this. It's a neglected tool that works, not a miracle remedy. Now, how does it operate in the fields of holistic or functional medicine? Functional medicine excels in this situation. Let's consider the big picture. Gut-brain axis. Vagus nerve signaling is triggered by bitter substances. Enhancing satiety, digestion, and liver detox is crucial. Bitter foods promote metabolic health by increasing bile flow and the liver detoxification pathway. What about a hormone signal? They help control insulin and appetite by stimulating GLP-1 and PYY. You're not simply controlling sugar then. You're dealing with the underlying issues such as hormonal imbalance, inflammation, liver health, and intestinal function. Now, how can this be done practically? How can you restore your bitterness without detesting your food? Correct? Thus, begin modestly. Incorporate the lion greens and arugula into salads. Try teas that are bitter. Make use of artichokes. They are tasty, adaptable, and full of bitter compounds. You may balance the taste by pairing bitter meals with garlic, lemon, and olive oil, for example. Additionally, bitter tincture can be used as a supplement if you truly detest bitterness. However, whole foods provide more phytonutrients and fiber than supplements. What about the boundaries now? And let's be reasonable in our expectations. Let's be honest. If you desire your Ozempic, bitter meals won't take its place, okay? However, it will undoubtedly improve your blood sugar levels more. Although they won't cure diabetes overnight, They are an effective tool when used in a well-thought-out approach. They improve the way your body uses insulin and your blood sugar levels. They can lessen the spikes that gradually harm your blood vessels and promote the health of your liver and intestines. What about vitamins, then? What role do they play? Correct? I get asked by certain patients if I may take supplements and bitter foods together. Of course. For this reason, if a patient can afford it, I frequently suggest medicines like glucagon or super berberine in my clinic. Because some people simply do not want to pay for anything. They only desire drugs because they want free goods and don't want to spend money on their health. Since they can't afford it and you are aware of the economy, I can accept that. However, by using the meals we discussed and other supplements that work similarly, you can have the same GLP stimulation as you would with the drug, which has many negative consequences. Finally, some closing remarks. The bottom line is as follows. I take it that we no longer have bitterness in our diet. Our metabolism is being harmed by it. Bitter foods increase insulin sensitivity, facilitate gut-brain access, and activate GLP-1. Because of this video, you don't have to completely change your life at this moment. You can start moving your physiology in the right direction by simply reintroducing one bitter meal per day, such as artichoke, a cup of tea, a green salad, or something else entirely. This is my challenge to you then. This week, try incorporating one bitter food back into your diet. Try it this week. It might be arugula. It can be a bitter tea made from melon. Observe your blood sugar levels and report back to me in the comments. Check that out for yourself. Correct? Have you ever tested your blood sugar with bitter foods? You certainly did. A few of you did. Tell us, was it beneficial? I would adore hearing your tales. If you found this video useful, please press the bell, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who is dealing with diabetes. Sometimes the medication we forget about is the most effective. In this instance, we attempted to remove the taste from our plates. Don't let resentment keep you up. Your metabolism will appreciate it. Nice to see you there.